Let's talk about media management. North Carolina law limits media access in the voting enclosure, and the media must also adhere to the 50-foot buffer zone. The law limits media access as follows: photographing voters is prohibited. Photographing of voted ballot is prohibited.
Based upon these statutory mandates, the North Carolina State Board has set out guidelines for use by election officials in dealing with the media at polling locations as follows. Members of the media have a First Amendment right to report on matters of public interest, including elections. If the media enters the buffer zone or the voting enclosure, they must identify themselves to the chief judge. Election officials may state to the media the number of persons who have voted, but no opinions should be given as to the effect of such voting numbers. With the cooperation of election officials, members of the media may be briefly inside the voting enclosure to take a panoramic photo or video of the voting place, but are not permitted to use a zoom lens that could show an individual voter in the process. Members of the media should not interfere, obstruct, or disrupt the voting process. They are not allowed inside the voting enclosure unless they are there to vote or otherwise invited by the election official. Outside the buffer zone, the media is free to photograph or video in a non-disruptive manner. After the polls have closed, the media and public are allowed inside the enclosure but may not hinder the operations of the election officials. Remember, members of the media should be treated with respect. Report any problems with media personnel to the Johnston County Board of Elections office.